Well, broad and interesting question, I think, at least. Yes, indeed. We've heard since this morning mainly fintech providers. We've heard a professor. We've heard fascinating keynotes and panel discussions. But I thought it was also very interesting to hear the view of a banker. And the impact of digitization is not only about the new products, the new services, it's also, I think, not only a challenge, but a huge opportunity for traditional banks, even though Fabien might slightly differ from the definition of traditional bank. But we wanted to have a slightly different format, more a conversation about it. And in fact, I'm going to ask the audience also, if they wish to ask questions, we will then ask Fabien to answer these questions. He's kindly accepted to also make it very interactive. We did prepare a few questions up front, just to kind of give some guidelines there. But indeed, feel free to just raise your hands and make this interactive. So before we jump into the very first question, Fabien, maybe you want to explain a bit your personal background. Explain also in what sense Keytrade is different and what it's actually doing in Luxembourg.
Yes, hi. So I worked at the beginning in France in 12 years in BNP Paribas in Cortal Consors in the trading area yet, in broker online. And afterwards I worked during 8 years in Switzerland, also in B2B and B2C in the trading area, and now in Luxembourg. So mainly Keytrade Bank is specialized in trading and investment. We have 50% of our customers from 100 countries all over the world and 50% in Luxembourg. So we really give the access to the platform. It's 100 digital, and all the customers open an account, they put some cash, and they trade on the 18 different markets: bonds, securities, certificates, turbo options, whatever. So our goal to develop the business, of course, is to acquire new customers. And for us, the onboarding of a new customers, it's a key in our business. And I think for a lot of people here, it's more and more every day a key in the development of our business.
All right, okay. So, if I may, for the first question, the challenges you were facing, you were and you still are, as a, if I, no offense, but it's the size of Keytrade is very different from the giants around the world. But so you probably can share a bit what you were facing, what you see coming as a challenge.
Yeah. So in order to compete and to get a lot of new customers, we are really to be a pioneer, to innovate, and digital onboarding, it's a key to develop a business. So afterwards, of course, the customers can do whatever they want in the trading. But if we want to acquire a lot of new customers, this is the key, because we have no offices, so everything is in digital. And of course, we have to be the best in this way to recruit new customers.
Yeah. Okay. So to target new customers, onboard them, offer them some kind of enhanced experience, and so there, could you maybe just share how it was actually done in the past? What was the process to onboard?
Yeah, so in the past, as a lot of bank, in fact, you were obliged to print a PDF, to fulfill your data, to do a certified passport or ID card, etc., etc. So mainly it's 2-3 weeks to receive the document, and after to manage the document internally, and to open the account. And with the digitalization, it's of course very, very easy.
Okay, so there you see the benefits of digitization. There are solutions that are available on the market that can help you face these challenges and basically target you, give an answer, bring an answer to the digital onboarding. Just for the audience, we worked together on the digital onboarding, so we know. But I think that the idea was also for you to try and make it available to not only Luxembourg people, but broader target, and also not limit it to the no risk or low risk, but go a bit beyond and make it as universal as possible.
Yes. Of course, the idea is not just to offer to the Luxembourgish, because we have 50% of our customers from a lot of different nationalities. So the idea was to do it for everybody, and of course, following the risk. After that, we manage internally with our compliance to check the customers. But mainly, all the customers can do a digital onboarding in Keytrade Bank Luxembourg. Yeah.
You mentioned that you held a position in Switzerland. I believe that you also had gone through this process in Switzerland, implementing digital onboarding. What were they similar challenges? What were the results there?
In fact, what all the bank or digital banks were waiting, it's just a stumble from the regulators. So it was done in 2016 in Switzerland, and we opened several months afterwards this possibility. And in fact, when you do that, you know, today when you want to do something, it's not as in 20 years ago, because when you have an Apple, when you check Google, you want instantly you want the answer. And it's exactly the same with the bank. You want to open your account, and it has to be directly immediate. And we have seen in 3 months it's an increase of the conversion rate about 50%. And after 1 year, still, it's more than 30%.
So that was in Switzerland?
In Switzerland. And here, it's mainly the same. We opened together 3 months ago, and mainly it's between 50 and 60% the first 3 months of increase of conversion rate. So it's amazing for us.
Okay, that's, I think, if there are any bankers in the room, that's really important. So you increased by 50 to 60% the conversion rate from manual process to digital process, knowing that you still have the validation, the human validation at the end of the process, but that will probably evolve.
Yeah, and what I want to say also, when a customer is going to fulfill online the questionnaire, is going to fulfill mainly better than if he is going to fulfill with the print. And when you are in a bank, also when I was in Qatar Consortium or in Switzerland, we have seen that the advisors of the bank, the rate was 50% less correct than for the customers who fulfilled online. So it's really, the quality is good, and afterwards when you get your data, it's very fast to open the account. Today it's around 1 day to open an account, and before it was more than 1 week when you receive all the data, because with the digitalization, with all the data in your system, it's faster. Okay,
so quality of the data, the quality of the KYC passport in that sense is improved. In terms of user experience, what are the metrics? You mentioned that you multiplied almost by 3. Is there somehow also an improvement in the time? You mentioned 2-3 weeks, that was the previous, and now what is it? If you look at someone who starts the process and ends it without interruption, because you can also interrupt to collect other data.
Yeah, it's maybe 2 days enough. So it's really nice, it's immediate, but it's what we are living every day. Every day we want answers immediately. It's exactly the same for us, for our customers. And today it's amazing, because with also the collapse of the markets, every day the customers are calling, yeah, I want to open now my account now. So it's really fast. So they do on the website, and they want to open an account very quickly.
So 20 minutes, less, more?
20 minutes for them.
Yeah,
maximum, and afterwards we have to do our job to open the account.
That's brilliant. So maybe to share also with the people in the room, what were the main obstacles, the hurdles, and the lesson learned? Because that is also important. You had a process in place, you had different procedures, you had a way of working. Has it impacted massively the way you work today?
Yeah, what you have to think, really the most important, it's to think, okay, how I can simplify the process. So the customers, they have not a lot of time, they want to be fast. So you have to say, okay, what is mandatory to open an account? And to be really simple, you have not to show 25 different pages. You have really to be fast and to ask only the mandatory questions. And afterwards, you can improve, you can do appropriateness tests, all that stuff, suitability if you want afterwards. But the most important is to get the lead, and after to convert this lead, and after to manage the life of the customers. But the most important is UX. It's all the work you are going to do to be sure that there is no blocking point for the customers in the process.
Just because we will be short of time, are there any questions in the room? Yes.
Can you shorten the process by onboarding customer without having the end of the process, the onboarding process, but under the condition that you will make more check afterwards? It's like the due diligence. So you give like, you know, the due diligence process in private equity. So actually the guy is coming with a request and you trust him. That's it. You got it? But afterwards you check, and if the check doesn't match with the declaration, then the due diligence is stopped. Mm-hmm. Can you anticipate something and being even faster?
Yeah, in fact, when we receive all the data, we do a check. So in one day, we know if we are going to accept the customers or not, because we are going to do all the checks, you know, we have to do. So even if with the process we have several checks with Finologee, but afterwards we do a compliance check, the due diligence of all the information we need to follow. But with the IT, it's really easy to do now. It's mainly automatic, you know, so it's very fast and faster than before.
I'm sorry, but we'll be short of time. We can't take another question. But I think there's also one point that you collect the information as the process is ongoing, and you also matched with the financial institution's risk matrix. So basically, it's also based on their own scoring, their own risk. So it's presenting a file that is matching their own policy, which makes it easier for then the back office to have a look at it and to validate it. Just quickly, key takeaways for the people in the room. What do you see as what would be your recommendations?
To be flexible, to be ready, because with PSD2 we'll get a new open banking in the future. So if you are in a bank, try to be flexible to really satisfy your customer and to be faced to your customer, to exchange with them, to get a good relation with the customers, because it will be the key point, I think, in the future.
Thank you very much. I think you can give a big round of applause to Fabien.
Yes, definitely. Thank you very much.